Can y'all hear me okay? I got my coaching voice on. I didn't know if I was going to need this or not. Before I get going, I want everybody to stand up real quick. Stretch it out. You're not going to sleep on me. Come on. Get it together. Do whatever you need to do. Do some twisties. And then I want you guys, did we not just have two amazing speakers, and Rachel and Robin? Then y'all are going to get on my video. You really are. Hold on. All right, on the count of three, I want y'all to, yeah, say go Wilma! There we go. Okay. You can sit down. You can sit down. First of all, one thing that y'all didn't know about me, you know I'm a coach, but how many of you knew I was a preacher's kid? A couple. So, you know, I'm used to making people talk back to me. All right, it's just kind of in me. So before I get going, I want to give honor where honor is due, as we do in the church. So thank you, Vicki, for inviting me. Jamie, Alec, who's not here, I don't count it. I'm very grateful to be here, to be able to speak today. Clearly, I have the opportunity to talk about my team, and I also want to give thanks to my team, my family, for all the support that they have given me throughout my life in general. My Lord and Savior for allowing me to be here today. So before we got into anything, I wanted to make sure and talk about that. My topic today is heroic lessons from my team to yours. And how many of you have been a part of a sports team? Raise your hand again. I remember all of you people that said that y'all liked women's sports. And I don't forget faces, so I'm going to be expecting y'all to be at not just my game, but Rachel's games as well, okay? I have a photographic memory. I'm watching, no, I'm just kidding. All right? So from my team to yours. And so I said, first of all, well, what is a team? Now, back when I was a kid, anytime I would ask a question, my grandmother would say, go look it up. Anybody remember that? She had these things, and I hated it. It was called the Encyclopedia Britannica. Who remembers that? Y'all, she had the whole set. I didn't even want to ask a question anymore because she made me go look it up. Now, when they look up stuff, my 15-year-old, she's just going to AI and Google and all of that stuff, right? So they've just got it easy. So I got to thinking about, okay, I'm talking about a team. Well, what is a team? What is a team? If you look it up on AI, they talk about it's a group of people, animals, or a collection of folks that then work together for a common goal. That sounds about right. That's what a team is. And I got to thinking about the teams that I've been a part of. I've been a part of a lot of teams, not just sports teams. I've been part of praise teams. I sing, don't tell everybody, don't get me to singing today. I've been a part of leadership teams, sports teams, all 9 yards. And I got to thinking about the word team, as we talked about. And how many of you have seen this acronym? Together, everyone achieves more, okay? And of course, I started thinking about my favorite teams that I've been a part of, and I thought it would be fitting today for me to talk to you guys about my favorite team. Is that okay? Is that okay? All right. So how many of you all have seen this picture before? Raise your hand. Oh, good. I get to tell everybody. Just a few of us. I get to tell everybody. Do y'all know who that is in that picture? I still look good. No, I'm just playing. That's me. Guess when that picture was taken? May 21st of 2026. Look at me. I've got a breathing tube. I couldn't move. I had IVs in both of my hands right here. I couldn't even move. I'm a side sleeper. So here they got me laying like this, y'all. I can't sleep. Look at me. May 20th, my life was just like it always was. My niece and nephew, I'm from Gastonia, North Carolina. Anybody know about the gas house? Whoop, whoop. There we go. Went to pick my niece and nephew up. It was Memorial Weekend. We had a turn-up plan. Let me tell y'all, We were going to all of the beaches. We were getting ready to have a blast. Picked them up from Gastonia, got back to Charlotte. The next day, we had a day planned. We did some things. I have a 15-year-old daughter. We went to pick her up from school. We went home, ate, got changed, and guess where we headed to? The beach, baby. They've been talking about this beach for months. So I said, man, I can't let their first day go by and not go to the what? Y'all are quick studies. There we go. So we packed up. We live down in the Monkey Junction area. We decided to go to Wrightsville Beach. And what started out as a normal day, we go in the evenings. I have a 15-year-old daughter and I have a 1-year-old daughter. And so, you know, it's kind of hot for the 1-year-old during the day. So we always go about 6:30, whenever it's not as hot outside. And so it was a normal day. My two were not in the water. My niece and nephew were in the water. And they were in the water only up to maybe their calves. Not out there, just kind of in the crash zone where many kids play, right? How many of you have had your kids playing in the crash zone while you're sitting on the sand, right? So I always told my nephew not to turn his back to the waves. And guess what he did? He turned his back. A wave hit him. The wave not only hit him, it knocked him off his feet. I'm on the shore, I see it happening. The tide then takes him out. It wasn't a red day, it was a mild day for rip currents. Anybody know anything about rip currents? You're gonna learn today if you don't know. So Auntie Coco is what my real name is. Auntie Coco takes her stuff out of her pockets, and I'm going in to get my nephew. I told my 15-year-old, hey, I'm gonna go get Noah, I'll be right back. In this same tone, the best thing I could say, y'all, it wasn't a thing until it was a thing. I get out there to him, and I'll never forget his voice. Save me, Coco. Save me, Coco. Save me, Coco. And I realized when I got out there it was a thing. Now, living here at the beach, they always tell you if you get caught up in a rip current, you're supposed to do what? Swim to the side. So guess what I did? I swam to the side. And guess where I went? I went nowhere. So whenever you go to do what you know to do and it doesn't work, guess what? That's when panic sets in. That's when panic sets in. So if you don't learn anything else today, when you're in a rip current, you're not supposed to swim to the side. You're supposed to turn over on your back and do what? You're supposed to float. Because it will take you, the rip will eventually take you out of it, and then you can swim to the side to be able to get out of it, okay? So fast forward. My nephew and I are out there about 15 to 20 minutes, y'all. I'm a swimmer. I swim like a fish. I'm an ocean swimmer. My daughter and I, my 15-year-old, we get out there. But baby, after 15, 20 minutes, I ain't in that good a shape no more, y'all. I used to be. I'm not anymore. And I just remember a gentleman coming. And I remember seeing one. I didn't see two. And I just remember thinking, my 8-year-old nephew, he just had a birthday May 12th. This is the 21st. He can't go out like this. And I just remember him getting there and thinking, if I can hold on long enough for him to get here to help us, whatever the good Lord has for me, I've lived a good life. Y'all, the next thing I know, I woke up Friday morning in the hospital, okay? And so let's get some snaps for that, some claps for that I'm here. Thank you, Lord. First of all, so I decided to talk to you all about my favorite team ever, and it's the team that saved my life. And so I'm going to go through and talk to you about every step of the way and the lessons that I learned from these heroes that saved my life. So let's go first. These nice gentlemen right here, y'all might know some of them. I swear everybody knows Ryan. I keep getting people, oh, I know Ryan. They were on the beach, y'all, and they were practicing for a sand soccer tournament that they were playing in. And a lady went to go get help. My daughter ran to get help. A lady then went and grabbed these gentlemen, okay? Never met them a day in my life. They didn't know who I was, okay? They just saw somebody in need. And so the guy in the middle, his name's Giuseppe. Giuseppe called 911 right away. The other two, guess what they did? They ran in after us, y'all. They don't know us. They decided to be selfless and to go in to try to save us. And y'all, we were out there for probably 10 minutes with them holding us up. I don't remember any of this. This is them telling me after the fact, okay? They stayed with us as long as they could until they were getting ready to go under. And they had to make the decision to go back to save themselves. And so it started with them. Nothing would have happened if this group had not have done what they did. So the lessons that I learned from them is they were selfless. I talk about to my teams all the time about having a we over me mentality. They didn't think twice. And I called them my hero crew. We got a group chat. Y'all know about the group chat, right? We got a group chat. They're called my hero crew because I wouldn't be here without them. The best teams are the selfless teams, not the jealous ones, not the ones that have a crab in a bucket type mentality. They are the ones that will always, always, always put the team first. And not only were they there, this is a little side note. Y'all, I never go to Access 2 when I go to Riceville Beach. I got married on Access 4. I'm a creature of habit. I always go to Access 4. I pulled up to Access 4, and it was packed, y'all. It was Memorial. It was still packed. I'm not going there. So I go down 2 more accesses to Access 2. If I wouldn't have been at Access 2, these gentlemen wouldn't have been there. Don't get me to preaching, y'all. Y'all know. Y'all are with me. Y'all are with me, okay? Y'all are getting ready to see how y'all are talking to a miracle. You still don't understand quite yet, okay? But guess what? There were some other people on the beach as well. I've got my nephew that's out there with me in the water. I have had an 8-year-old, and she's 9 now, niece, that is now on the shore because I told her to get out of the water. And my 15-year-old and my 1-year-old are on the beach now. Can you imagine that? A kid, the adults out there, they see us bobbing and weaving in the water, okay? There's a lady named Kathy that reached out to me on Facebook. Kathy was at Shell Island for a conference. She was a social worker, does work in social work. So she sent me a picture from earlier in the day. She saw us all playing, and she saw everything that happened. Kathy wasn't a great swimmer, though, so she couldn't get out there to help. They had already called 911. But she saw my niece because my daughter was on the phone with my wife saying what's happening, this, that, and the other. My niece is in shambles. 8 years old, her brother and her auntie are bobbing in the water. Kathy went over to my niece, and she started talking to her and using the skills that she had. And she redirected her from looking out in that water. She had her focusing on the sand, the water in the sand, so that she didn't have to see that. That was Kathy. Does anybody know this gentleman in this picture? Some of you do. I call him David Hasselhoff, y'all. Who remember Baywatch? Y'all remember Baywatch? I call him David Hasselhoff. This is Sam Prophet. He is the Riceville Beach Ocean Rescue Director, all right? This is the gentleman that pulled me out of the water. So this picture was taken, I had my team. Yes. I had my team do a water safety training in which we took them to the fire station. They learned about rip currents, and then we went to the water and did simulations. And so this was a picture from there. So he gets to the scene. At this point, y'all, I'm underwater. My nephew is above water. They told him there's 2 people out there. He goes to get my nephew. Afterwards, he tells me, he said, Mrs. Woods, I'm going to tell you 2 things, and I don't want you to ever forget it. He said, number 1, he said, you saved your nephew's life. He said, make no mistake about it. You saved his life. He said, number 2, when I went out there to get your nephew because he was above water and I was going to come back to look for you, he said, I went and threw the buoy at him, and I went to turn to bring him back in, and I felt something, boom, hit me in my leg. Y'all, it was me. It was me. Did y'all hear that? He said in my 26 years, I've never had that happen. But guess what? It wasn't just him. It was my nephew. See, everybody's saying that I saved my nephew, but the reason why I was there and why my nephew was above the water, my nephew was like balancing on top of me, y'all. Under the water. Think about that. 8 years old. He's balancing on top of me to keep me from going. He said in my 26 years, I've never had that happen. But guess what? It wasn't just him. It was my nephew. See, everybody's saying that I saved my nephew, but the reason why I was there and why my nephew was above the water, my nephew was like balancing on top of me, to keep me from going. 26 years. Y'all are getting it now. Y'all are getting it now. So the people on the beach, those are just two examples. What did I learn from them? Play your role. Because guess what? If the lady on the beach hadn't went and talked to my niece, if she had tried to jump in to save us, she probably would have been gone as well. David Hasselhoff, as I call him, if he probably would have tried to go consult my niece, he might not have known what to say. But guess what? He played his role and she played her role. There were others. Those are just two examples of people playing their roles. And so in your teams, there's a body, the organization, whatever your organization is. And somebody might be the mouthpiece like me, and that might be your job, to be the best mouthpiece you can be. Somebody might be the hand to give helping hands to whoever's needed. Somebody might be the feet. Do what you are supposed to do. Don't try to do anybody else's job, and don't try to do more than what you're supposed to do. The best teams have people that not only know their roles, but they play their roles. Oh, the police. Yes, yes. Y'all, like, you see, I done met everybody. Y'all see this, right? I met everybody. So they get me out of the water. David Hasselhoff has us both coming out the water, like Baywatch. He's exhausted. So one of the officers comes and grabs me, y'all. I'm lifeless. I have no pulse. I'm not breathing. They said I probably was underwater, maybe 2 minutes. Any medical professionals here knows 2 minutes under the water is a long time, correct? They worry about what when you're under the water? Brain functioning. They don't know how I'm going to be if I do come back. These men and women, they get me out of the water. They immediately start chest compressions. How many of you are CPR certified? Put your hand down. How many have ever been in those CPR trainings and you don't want to be in them trainings? I'm going to raise my hand. Because I tell you what I used to say. My job is to call 911. I'm the mouthpiece, remember? I can give exact instructions. I can tell them how to get here. I can tell them what happened. That used to be what I said. Because all of us coaches have to be CPR certified. Guess what? They got down and they started doing chest compressions right away. 5 minutes, y'all. Anybody know that's a long time? Y'all, my chest was sore for a month and a half. I couldn't move anywhere. They didn't break any ribs or anything. Everywhere I moved, it hurt. From those 5 minutes of chest compressions until the EMS got there. EMS gets there. Anybody know what an AED is? Guess who had to get a shock? Healthy. Didn't have any issues going into this. My heart stopped. Do y'all understand that? But guess what? That CPR that they did, it kept that oxygen flowing to my brain. To where, yeah, you can go ahead, clap it up. It kept the oxygen flowing to my brain to where I have 100% bill of health. I don't have any cognitive issues. I did it 4 times. I did the assessment 4 times to make sure. It got better and better every time. But every single time, it met within requirements. Okay? So, what did I learn from the police? To trust your training. Because guess what? When I talked to them, some of them had never done CPR on anybody other than the dummy that they do when they're in CPR training. But they have to do this thing called continuing education, right? We have professional development for our staffs. We do a lot of different things with them so that they have the tools to be able to get out there and to be successful. In this case, 2 of them said it's the highlight of their career, being able to come and meet me because of them being able to utilize what they were trained to do. And so that's what you got to do with your teams, y'all. People are going to do what you train them to do. I always say with my players, wherever you set the bar, that's where they're going to meet it. If you set it right here, they're going to meet it right here. If they set it up here, but guess what? You got to train them. How many are married? Y'all had to train your husband or your wives, right or wrong. They treat you how you train them? All right, we're going to move on from that one. We're going to move on for that one. So now, I get there, like we said, the EMS, they have gotten there now. They have administered the AED. I have a heartbeat. They intubated me on the sand, y'all. People sent videos from Shell Island because we were right there. Y'all, it was like a scene out of a movie. It really was. Like, the fact that I was in it, every time I get asked all the time, how do you feel when you see this? It's new to me because I don't remember it. You know, I don't, you know. Tanya, stand up. Tanya, stand up. Y'all say, hey, Tanya. So Tanya helped orchestrate, y'all. I was laying in the hospital bed as I was recovering. And just the level of care that I had at the hospital here, y'all. I can't speak enough about the level of care. Before they knew who I was. Before they knew who I was. And I'm just so grateful for all that everybody did to help with my recovery. And so, has anybody ever heard of the guardian angel pinning that they do here at the hospital? So just this Tuesday, y'all, I got to meet the medical professionals. So these are two of the EMS workers, the ones right here. These are two of the EMS workers. These are two of my doctors right here. This is the Dr. Prime and Dr. O'Neill. And then Dr. Lewis wasn't there. And then these were two of the CNAs that took care of me, okay? So I got to pin them as a guardian. You know, my family and I, we gave a donation to the hospital, and I was able to meet them and give my thanks and my gratitude. And, you know, when I really got to thinking about it, when I got there, y'all, I spent 48 hours, maybe 36 hours in ICU. There's a lot of people that do not come out of ICU. It's a lot of death in ICU, y'all. I remember laying there on that Thursday I got there. I didn't wake up till Friday morning. I remember Friday was rough, y'all. I had everything in my stomach under the sea. Everything, y'all name it. I had seashells, rocks. I had dirt. I had, you know, seaweed. Don't ask me how I know, but it was in there. And it came up. We're going to leave it at that, okay? And it was just rough. So now I'm sick, y'all. I can't move. I told y'all. I'm a side sleeper. I'm laying like this. I got 2 IVs. And I just remember hearing different cries. Different cries of people whose loved one probably was getting ready to pass or passed. And I just remember thinking, I don't care how bad I feel. My family's not going to feel like this. You know, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get out of that. And my nurse, Tyler, thank God for Tyler. Y'all, let's give Tyler a hand. Come on. Y'all, Tyler got me this thing called a recliner. How many of y'all know about a recliner? And y'all, to this day, it's the best sleep I ever had in that recliner, y'all. And from there, I was in ICU from Thursday till Saturday morning. I moved to a regular room. That's when these CNAs were some of the best that took good care of me. Within a week, y'all, I was home. Within a week, I was home. Yep. And I got to thinking about the levels in which I had to go through when I got to the hospital. So the EMS were great. They got me there. I got to ICU, right? They did their thing, got me to where I could be moved, and then they moved me to a regular room. And the thing that I learned from them, y'all, was they had high level of communication, right? I had a lung doctor. I had a heart doctor. I had an ICU doctor. I had all the doctors. I had them all. And their level of communication around what needed to be done, when it needed to be done, how it needed to be done, and their patience. I remember they asked me what my first memory was, and they also asked me if I saw the light. I didn't see the light, y'all. I'm sorry. I didn't see the light. My nephew did say, my mom passed 2 years ago. My nephew did say he saw my mother on the water with us, so she must have been our angel out there, but I didn't see the light. But I remember Friday morning, you know how it feels when you're in a deep sleep and you're in a dream and you're trying to wake yourself up. I remember feeling like that, like, Cole, wake up. I know you ain't this tired. I know now they had me sedated because they didn't know what type of internal injuries I had, so they slowly would bring me out of sedation and then put me back. just to kind of see, oh, she's breathing on her own. She doesn't need this breathing tube anymore. Those types of things, right? And I just remember waking up, and first of all, I was barking orders eventually, but we'll get to that. That's when they knew I was okay. But I remember not being able to talk. I didn't realize I had a breathing tube at the time. And I remember asking to write, and I wrote drown. And my wife said, no, Noah didn't drown. You know, you saved him. He had it he didn't have it rough. He stayed overnight for observations. He's already home. You had a little bit more trouble. Y'all, my wife works in trauma. I can already tell, because it wasn't until Friday night that I realized how bad I was. And so I then said, I'm sorry. Because as the only adult out there, we all know the mommy guilt, right? For those of you all that have children, and how I allowed this situation to happen, and what I should have done differently, and all of these different things. And I come to tell y'all, none of that matters. None of that matters, because guess what? Exactly right. You're listening to a real life miracle right now. A real life miracle. But you wouldn't be able to hear from me if it had not been from the team. Look at them, y'all. This is my dream team. I've got a hero cop chat. I got a hero chat. I got all kinds of group chats with these people. They're stuck with me for life. They don't even know it, y'all. I feel like one of the reasons I wore white today, I said this the other day, 2026 was a hard year for me, y'all, prior to the accident. I was one of those people, I didn't really get too stressed out about things. I had a lot on me. And I really feel like, y'all, when I went down in that water, that I came up a different person. I feel like I left all of the stresses, all of the things that were weighing me down in Wrightsville Beach. Because guess what? None of that stuff matters at the end of the day. None of that matters. So the things that I learned from my heroes, to always be selfless, to have a we over me mentality, to play my role in whatever role that is, to do it to the best of my ability, to communicate and to have patience is really important, right? And at the end of the day, you gotta have fun doing what you do. And I tell my players this all of the time, y'all, to be you is good enough. You don't have to be anybody else. You be you, and if those people don't like it, that's their fault. Don't try to be anybody else. Put people around you that you want to be around, that give you life. You know, you don't want a parasitic relationship. You want it to be a two-way street on both ends, okay? Now, going back, I saw those people that talked about they like women's sports, okay? So, yep. You can get our season tickets, y'all, for $100. So I'm expecting to see, I'm expecting y'all to see this. Come see us. Come see us, because guess what? My players, y'all, 3.825 GPA last spring, almost a 3.5. Almost a 3.5. They are top-notch human beings, on top of very good basketball players. We have an event in October the 12th. It's called our DD Tune Rivers Kickoff Luncheon. And we do it during lunchtime because I want it to be a networking opportunity for my players. So from 11:30 to 12, we have different businesses that come out, and they get to meet some people that maybe they wouldn't have met before. And then for an hour, it's an hour of power. It's a great lunch, and you're able to go off. And so I know at the end, they will email you guys my contact information. If you all ever need us for anything, we're in the community a lot. We do a lot of community service. This is my public service announcement to email me. We will be there because I will not take this life of mine for granted. I thank the good Lord for being here, and I thank y'all for having me. Thank you.